crap. Hello.
Hey.
What's up? Mike, you look like the
Going
ultimate.
on?
You look like the ultimate badass in that intro, Mike.
All right, I don't know why I did that. Some sort of
We're
voodoo
experiencing
magic going on here.
technical difficulties right here.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that was weird. Okay.
I said Mike looks like a badass, and you just wanted to see him again. I know what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like,
Oh
wait, let me
god.
double check this real quick. No, I must have bumped the mouse because I'm on my laptop. Let me plug in my mouse pad so that way I don't do
So, so apologies to everybody. Pat has lost his brain, and had and
Yeah.
we had to fix the time for him.
He
Yeah.
had
No,
some trouble at the park today.
and he
yeah,
and
just a
he and
little
he
bit.
and he also doesn't even know what episode we're on. We're on episode 5, not 4.
Is it 5?
This is 5.
Oh, I can
Yep.
just change on the fly. There you go.
Oh Lord, but it's been a couple weeks. We'll forgive you.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking back on like I think your and my channels. I was like, what episode are we on? Because it's been a few weeks. So everyone here has been busy. Like last week was spring break for me. I had to go pick up my kid in Connecticut. And, you know, Mike's been working. You've been doing various things.
I had the major flu since Support Your Weekends. It's just been murder, and then work has been killing me like crazy. And I've been doing the one a day, but it's maybe 1-2 a day. That's it, and it's mostly digital because I don't even have time to come into the shack. It's been mostly done like remote into my shack, and it's just been crazy.
Yeah. Well, you're not getting any increased activity from Europe.
No, not really.
I just saw a video by LW0. I forgot the rest of his call sign already, but he did a POTA video, and he was saying like, man, they were struggling to make contacts, that people weren't hunting too much.
And it's not just hunting. I mean, the bands have been
Suck.
Yeah. Bands have been pretty bad. Whenever I had the chance to come back here to the shack and give it a whirl, it's just been what's going on. Although I did do some new DX for me, but it was like, what's going on? It's just been. Although
Well,
10-15 have been pretty good on FT8, although everything else has just been crap.
Yeah, like it, dude. I went out just a little bit ago and at a park, and like I made my contacts and I could hear people fine and everything, but still the noise is just absolute garbage. And like yesterday I did like, well, I know how many I did. I did 15 total, but I did 13 before the late shift. And like it was easy to do because I'd get like, 15, 20 contacts and you couldn't hear nobody else. So you're like, oh, cool, we can go now.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, the the radio seems to work at least when you don't have water in your antenna. I learned that from experience today.
Was it ingress? Did it
Yeah,
get
well, it was like
between?
in the top. It was so like I don't know if you know how the ham sticks are. They have like two pieces that screw together. And it's inside of there. There was water. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so they
got
did it.
I got like maybe 5 or 6 ham sticks. Well, more than that, because I got enough to make a dipole for 20 and 15, I think,
Hmm.
like each side. So yeah, the trick is like whenever they come in, Vaseline it or KY jelly, I guess, in
Yeah.
the States, and the bottom just every time you have a coax like a PL259, just smother that stuff in Vaseline.
Yep.
I mean, it keeps the rain out.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But you know what? Like, man, did I salvage that activation or
You
what?
barely salvaged that activation.
Hey, that's why I say, man, bring your HT to your activations because you never know.
True, 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 true.
And it worked out for me.
I
So,
did give you 5.9 on the live stream, but you just
yeah,
didn't take it.
yeah. Well, I was kind of worried that guy was gonna try to relay for me. He's like, "Oh, I'm in between both of y'all. I can hear him, but I don't think he can hear you." And it's like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me try to work him." So, yeah, 2 meters and 70 centimeters for the clutch.
Eh, barely a clutch. But you got it in there. That's all that counts.
Yeah, yeah. And also now I have those two bands. So if I go back there, which is a state park, and I actually learned today because I never been there when they charge the fees. But I guess since I'm a military veteran and this good information for everybody, if you're ever going to Maryland state parks and you're a veteran, you get free entry.
Perks.
So yeah, I mean I saved all $3. Saved myself a Slurpee at 7-Eleven.
So I should have had you with me yesterday. Then is that what you're saying?
Did you go to a Maryland park?
I went to 12 Maryland parks yesterday.
What?
12 Maryland, and then one West Virginia to make 13 before the late shift, and then I did 2 late shifts on the way home.
Wow.
Were you doing like around Harper's Ferry or whatever?
No, I went to Garrett County, Maryland, because the parks are like this.
I don't know what Garrett County is.
Every like 15 to 20 minutes, I could be at a new park.
Wow.
That's
And there's 2 twofers.
So Hayden says you can get a free park pass. I think you're thinking of the national parks. The national parks will give you a free pass, but the state park is still $75 if you want a pass, which is a discount, and it covers the whole family. But that's per year. That's kind of steep, honestly.
Hey, if anybody in the chat knows if Delaware parks charge, let me know.
I don't think they do. Last time I went to a Delaware park, it didn't.
A lot of states don't. And
it's only certain parks here in Maryland too. Like not all the parks do it.
Look, I'm really against it, to be honest, because the people in that state pay taxes, and that money should be used for stuff like that. You shouldn't have to pay to go be outdoors.
Yeah. I think the thing with the park I went to, it only charges on the weekends from April till I think like September or something.
Oh, like in Florida, every state park charges every time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it's absolutely horrible. Like my mom.
I agree with you. It should be free. I mean, get people out there. It should be completely free.
In Washington, they used to charge for the parks, but the reason was because there's no income tax. So I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Like, if they don't have the means to make the revenue to keep the parks open, That makes
But I mean,
sense.
is it really the people that are visiting the park that many that
Well,
them
they.
charging is going to help?
Oh yeah. Well, because like I said, they're missing. They don't have income tax there, so like you don't pay the state money. So, all right, well, we got to keep the parks open somehow, and
True.
yeah. But up there, you could actually buy a pass. It's like $30 a year, and it covered your whole family. So it's like, that's pretty reasonable. And also up there, it's like honor system too. So even if you go to a park and you don't pay, like it's kind of up to the rangers to figure out whether or not you did. So
Dude, I'll tell you what. So there is a wildlife management area in Florida, and most of them, you don't have to pay to get in because there's no gate to stop you or anything like that,
yeah,
and they also have a gun range there, and you see people pulling up to the window of the gun range, and my mom lives there. She'd been there before. She had never paid. We automatically assumed that they were stopping paying for the gun range to go to the gun range. Now I had activated this park at least 10 times already between the two trips that I went down there, and I was down there finishing my last activation on my kilo, and we're sitting there, and the rangers pull up, and they're asking mom if we stopped and paid, and they made her go back and pay. So
mm,
evidently you were supposed to pay at this specific wildlife management area as well. And,
Hmm.
but I mean, there was no signs that says stop and pay or anything like that.
yeah. I mean, like I can understand why they do it, where they do it, and when they do it, because it kind of is a deterrent to like 1,000 fucking people being in the park on a Saturday, and because there's just not enough space, and you have to consider like conservation wise, like it's not great to have a ton of people running around and messing with the wildlife and the trees and all that shit. But like places that will charge you to like be there 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. It's like why? That's kind of dumb. But yeah, I think that's like one of the only state parks around me that charges though, and that's just because it's so like popular because it has like picnic pavilions, and playgrounds, stuff like that. So
I
you
mean,
just get a lot of traffic.
if
I,
it's that
It's
kind of
only
activities,
$3. So
still.
yeah, $3. Okay, now let me put this in perspective for you, Pat. I have activated Chief Logan Park 110 times. That is $330 if they charge $3.
well, they have a pass.
I'd figure you'd get a pass. I was gonna
Yeah,
think.
it's
I
like
was gonna say the
$70, and it
same.
gets you to every park in the state.
I would be like, here's my pass. My
I,
taxes,
all,
my taxes paid you.
yeah, all I have to do is flash that veterans card. They're like, "Thank you for your service," and let me go.
Yeah, like you
Well,
know,
thank you for your service.
it's just I mean, I'm all for the parks having money. You know what I'm saying? But our taxes pay that. They rent the shelters out. All the shelters are always rented in the parks. You know what I'm saying? And they charge a good penny because I've rented shelters there before. I mean, there's stuff that they can do to charge. That's fine, but just to go in the park and set on your radio should not cost you a dime.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. If you're doing ham radio activities, which are in effect bringing awareness into their park, they should have some consideration
but
towards this. Now, this should be something that POTA should be looking into it, contacting these different state parks and trying to get a yearly pass for ham radios. I mean, it's not something ludicrous. Shoot an email, talk to these people, see
well,
if
they
they're
do.
open to this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, most states that do charge has a yearly
Yeah,
pass, and it's for every park in the state.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like,
But special price for ham radio operators. You know what I mean?
Well, most
Because
of them are over 60, so they already get a special price. They get the retirement discount.
yeah.
They're like,
Oh,
oh, here's your pass for
wait,
$5.
wait. No, I got you better than that. So my mom, she, first she asked a woman, said, "How come Florida parks charge?" And she's like, "Well, we keep our parks really clean and blah blah blah." And she's like, "So does West Virginia." And I mean, I'll be honest, Chief Logan is immaculate. It's not run down at all. And most of the parks here are kept clean. And she's like, "Well, blah blah blah." Well, my mom says, "Well, do you have a senior discount?" And the lady said, "Not in Florida. Everybody's retired." That's what she said.
it'd be free for everybody if we gave senior discount.
I mean, I don't get too mad if they say like, "Hey, it's $3, but it's going to like some sort of conservation effort."
Yeah.
It's like maybe something was fucked up by like people in
Okay.
the past, and they're trying to fix it. I'm like, all right, I get that.
Okay. Again, I'm going to put it in perspective for you because this did happen. When I was in Florida, I did have to pay because they do charge. And a yearly pass was like $170 some. So I wasn't going to get that for while I was down there.
Yeah.
So on the day that me and Bill did like 18 parks, luckily Bill has a military pass. But the day we did 18 parks, a good chunk of them, at least 9 or 10 of them, were state parks. We'd have been out $30 just for a day and we were in the park 10 minutes tops and gone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Come to the Azores. They're free.
They're free here in West Virginia. They're free in West Virginia, and I can go in them any hour I want to. I don't have
Same thing here.
I don't have to be there at 8 to sunset and blah 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 blah. And come on, it's a park. I'm not doing meth. And that's like Chief Logan does have.
And if you are doing meth, you're being an entrepreneur.
If I'm doing meth, I'm doing it off my radio mic. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I'm secretly hiding it. But no, the Chief Logan does have a new superintendent, and he's cut back, on people being in there after 10:30. And one of the rangers stopped me recently. I was there in the daytime, but they're not going to find me in the nighttime because I'm in my secret location anyway. But she stopped. She said, "I have seen you up here with this big antenna a million times." She's like, "What do you do?" And so I sat there and I was explaining it to her, and she thought it was really cool. And I was telling her, she's like, asking all these questions. I was like, "Well, technically, this is the most active part in the state." She's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Because of me." I was like, "It's been activated at this time it was like 106 times." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Well, 106 for me, and there's like 4 other activations on the docket." I was like, but also I frequent this park and I have more contacts than anybody else in the world right now for 2022. And she's writing all this stuff down. She said, "I'm going to tell my boss about you and tell him if he sees you after 10:30, leave you alone." But
nice.
Again, when I'm in there at night, I'm on the top of the ridge. There's a road up there, and he's just around the lower area, making sure that nobody is fooling around doing junk.
Yeah. Well, that's so DC is kind of unique in that the parks are actually most of them to a point are open 24/7. Like actually all the national parks pretty much are open 24/7 because the National Mall never really closes.
Even when the president is doing his inaugural address, you can activate a monument in DC.
I mean, you can.
We did it, Pat. We did it. Come on.
Well, that was the State of the Union. Yeah, inauguration. Oof.
Well, no, not inauguration, but the State of the Union address. Yeah. That's big. I mean, they had certain roads closed down and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, it also helped that it was like smart enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna go like the farthest part away possible, because they won't bother us there. They'll be like, "Oh, look at these loonies," and they'll go on.
We even had a cop walk by at one point, and he never said a word to us. Here we
Yeah,
got
I think that's a security guard.
well, whatever.
It's like a rent a cop. They don't care as long as they're not. Yeah.
He's not being very secure when you got two dudes out in the middle of nowhere in pitch black with an antenna. And I mean, we could have been calling in the
Airstrikes.
Who know?
Yeah.
Spasiba, spasiba.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you don't think the Secret Service isn't monitoring the HF with that stuff going on,
They got a lot of. I don't think they're gonna specifically be.
Well, I'll tell you what.
no, they monitor that shit. I can
if-
promise.
if
They have
they-
this van where if you look at it, it looks like an ambulance, but it's all black and it has a ton of antennas on top. And literally, that thing exists to just monitor RF as it's rolling through the city. And if it
that is the
detects like a
case-
signal, it'll jam it.
If that is the case, the next time I come up there, I'm going to activate 7200 again from DC, and then let the Secret Service record all that nonsense, and then I'm going to be like, "Look, can you please send that to the FCC for me? Can you take care of this problem for me?"
Yeah, right. Hey, please help me out.
This is no lie. I have received three death threats over that night of activating on 7200.
Like via email?
Yeah, and of course they're generic emails, which you know what I'm saying. And I'm like,
dummy.
I had a funny. I was working the other day. You guys know I do the night shift, and I started getting messages from a French ham radio operator who went on a tirade that I was QRMing him. That the famous Mike is a very bad operator, and I'm like, huh? I had no idea what this guy was going on and on about. I even told him I have never QRM'd anybody. And he's like, oh. So I even spoke to him in French. I sent him a message in French. Pardonnez-moi, mon ami, mais je ne comprends pas. And I'm like, and the guy's like, you're no longer my friend on Facebook. And I'm like,
okay.
I had no idea what this guy was going on and on about. But apparently, I QRM French ham radio operators doing POTA.
Yeah, that's.
I didn't understand. I had no idea what the heck he was going on and on about. And I was like, what the heck?
Tell
Honestly.
him to come over in the States and try to do POTA. You want to talk about QRM?
But I have no idea what this man was talking about. Was he trying to make a QSO and I jumped on top of him? You know what I mean? Did I not give him a chance to do a QSO? I have no idea. He wouldn't explain. He was just like, you bad operator, and I will not talk to you no more, and goodbye, 73, and au revoir. And I'm like, the heck? I'm not going to name names or anything, but he was like pulling ham radios out of the hat, French, and I'm like, I don't know these people. I have no idea what this...
You QRM me, Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby, you are no good operator.
And he goes, oh, you and your big station. And I'm like, big station? What are you talking about? I have like 450 watts. What are you talking about, big station? I mean, is this radio envy? Did I call it something else? And I'm like, oh, you and your big station and so forth. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. On a stick, I mean, jeez. But anyway, also had someone else, ham radio operator, who's coming to the Azores. And I volunteered. He's local. Well, he used to live here. Then he went to the States. Now I guess he's coming back for vacation. And he's going to be here on my island. And I hope to do some activation with him. Get out there and show him the ropes on the island.
One day I'll make the expedition out there.
Yeah.
Once I get
free
my
parks.
Kayak, once I get my kayak, I'll just come on over.
Some guy, in the what is it, in the 1900s, did it on a paper boat. A boat made of paper, something like that. But I don't think he made the whole journey. I think he made it like between islands or something like that. So you can give it a whirl. Fold some newspaper and give it a whirl. But there's especially like in San Diego, and there's a lot of people from the Azores because they would travel there for the whaling
Yeah.
and stay apparently because we have a rich history of whale hunting on the
Yep.
islands. So
I mean,
yep,
there,
yep.
there there's probably somebody in my protocol that has a boat that could take me. Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Make it
have
a
a
trip.
I have a cult, by the way.
Yeah,
A
that'll.
cult.
I
I'll
have a
tell you
cult.
what though, like that will
Do you have
take
a
a
Do you have a
while.
secret handshake or something?
I told him I did tell him I wouldn't make him drink Kool Aid, and then the other day I'm activating, and
Drinking Kool-Aid.
Kilo 8 Golf Quebec Terry's like, I'm drinking the Kool Aid now, James.
Yeah, I tell you what, like if you take a boat, plan to take at least a week to get there. As fast as that thing would go.
Yeah, definitely more
Yeah.
than a week. I think.
I
Yeah.
will. I will turn the speakers
6
around.
knots. You could get there in a week.
I'll turn the speakers around backwards to the back of the boat, and I will call CQ, and the roar will just push me, an extra 12 knots at least. Plus, I'll
And
drink.
just-
Plus, I'll drink
Just put
Dr.
the
Pepper.
radio up to the sail so the speaker just blows air.
And I'll activate on 7200, and that way Voice of America will talk to me, and not even hellfire and damnation.
I suggest take a plane. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Reed is late.
Yeah, he thought it was at 10:30.
Yeah, 6:30. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I thought it was at 6:30.
I asked, is it at 10 22 UTC? Yes. Okay.
It always is. I mean, like literally, you can ask Hayden. He's in the chat. He asked me while he was hunting me, "Are you going to be on Campfire tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, I got to leave the park in 10 minutes." And I left the park in 10 minutes to make it. And then Pat's like, "Oh, it's not till 40 minutes." And I'm like, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
Maybe 40 minutes started episode 5, where we're really at. I'm gonna mess with Pat on this one. So
I'm tired today, man. Because I woke up pretty early to do my podcast with Hayden.
My mother-in-law came down with COVID today, and it's just been crazy. And then last weekend, I had 2 funerals back to back, like one at 9 a.m., one at 11. One was my aunt, and the same funeral home and everything. One upstairs, one downstairs, and the other one was the mother of my. He works with me on the night shift, and plus he's my daughter's godfather. So we call him compadre. That means he's my daughter's godfather.
Yeah.
So that was a nasty weekend for me. And the thing is, he got the A flu, which he gave to me at work and another coworker, and he gave it to his mom, who didn't take it very well, and she's 89. And guess what? I gave it to my mom. She's 89, so she's been having a bad week herself as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Of,
fun days.
we have a COVID case in the chat too.
Really,
Yeah. Crystal has COVID.
really.
Yeah.
Well, best wishes, or what do you melhores? Get well soon.
Yeah. She's had it for a few days, but I had it back in December, so I'm almost kind of surprised she got it now because
Crystal, if you pass your general, COVID automatically leaves the body.
My other better half had it, and I escaped it, and I've been like weaving in through it. I mean, but I'm gonna get it eventually for sure. I mean, everybody's gonna get it. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah. Let's bring in Hayden. What's up, Hayden?
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing
Doing
good.
great. I'm used to
Hayden,
it.
so when I was out activating, Hayden's like, "Hey, you want me to hop on 2 meters?" I'm like, I've had HT. I don't think I'll be able to hear you, man.
Yeah, I need to get my 2-meter antenna up a little bit higher.
Yeah, you're like probably a good 35 miles away from there.
Well,
Maybe
you
more.
wouldn't get him inside the car for sure. He's like
No.
talking with his HT big old antenna inside the car, and I'm like, crack a window at least, or you stick it outside.
Hey, I
Big
was
old
hitting
Faraday
the repeater.
cage.
I was hitting the repeater fine. It's just I couldn't do simplex.
What repeater were you using?
K3VB.
Okay.
You might be able to hear it. That's a pretty strong repeater. There it is right now. But
Hey, did you say K3BB?
K3VB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I just went on the repeater. I'm like, hey, I'm finishing a POTA activation. Come on Simplex if you want to work me. And I just sat on Simplex, and like 3 people came back. So
Made his activation.
made it, yeah. Because at 6 QSOs, my antenna crapped out. I guess it just attenuated because of all the water. And I was like, crap. And I just grabbed my HT and I'm like, well, here we go.
You
And
had
for
to
the last QSO, I had to run out to the playground and like stand on the top of the playground with my antenna poking out of it. Like it's on my video. I was just standing on the top of the playground. My son's standing next to me. He's like, "Get the contact so we can go home." It was raining.
I really wish that a person that we will remain nameless would have been near the park and would have ran over and started filming you and then put it on YouTube and be
I
like,
filmed myself.
He was filming himself.
on top of the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a live stream of the activation. I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring my phone and you're gonna watch me finish this activation on top of the playground. And I ran up on top of the playground.
See, this is what I miss while I'm doing POTA forums.
Yeah, it was really riveting. It's the first live stream activation I've seen. I was rooting for you, Pat.
Yeah. It was a total disaster, but it worked out.
I tell you what, this is another case of how much I love POTA hunters. They're just awesome people, and of course my cult is the most awesome. Of course, Mike, you better get a 40-meter antenna, or you can't be part of my cult, buddy. That's just all.
Okay.
You will get no Kool-Aid. But no. So I've been I guess for the last month I've got this guy probably 8 times or so, and last night he started talking to me about antennas on the radio and stuff, and I was telling him about the Eagle ones, what I use, and blah, 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 blah. Now, he lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I get up to the Hamfest today, and his brother is up there, sent to meet me and to buy an Eagle One antenna while he's up there.
Nice.
And his brother sat through the POTA forum, and is actually now going to start doing POTA because he sat through the forum. But he sat through the POTA forum to ask the questions his brother wanted to know in North Carolina, and I thought that was the most amazing thing. You're 5 states away, but yet you send your brother still just to learn. That's awesome, dude. Hats off to him, and hats off to his brother because he's now going to start doing POTA.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
Ended
there's
up
not
ended
a
up
lot
buying-
of locals here that do POTA.
He ended up buying 2 Eagle ones. The brother ended up getting one and one for his brother down North Carolina. So,
Yeah,
which you know what that means, right? I ate for free again.
So every 2 you get a free meal?
I don't know. Every Hamfest that I've went with Eagle One there, I have sold multiple antennas, and he always buys my food. So
I would hope so.
I actually sold 4 today, and he bought my free food, and he bought a 14 and a 10 element Yagi for himself.
James, I'm totally not buying an Eagle One antenna soon. Totally not.
I sent him a message Friday to try and get mine ordered.
Hey, well, here's the thing, Pat. If you use the code, it's it's HRAG. He's gonna know that it came from me.
Yep.
And you're a Patreon, so you're gonna say, I'm a Patreon, so I can get free shipping.
Yep.
He's gonna know it came from me.
Yeah, I'm totally not gonna get.
Does he do Patreon free shipping for international? Because I'll hit that Patreon.
I don't know. I can ask the question.
You can ask the question. I'll get an Eagle one to give it a whirl. I've done worse.
Hold on. Let me go create a new tier for international shipping. It's the $175 a month tier. You can hit that up, Mike, and you get free shipping. Because I'll pay it. Because I'll pay
Well,
it myself.
We'll take a collection, Mike, and have it sent out for you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Listen, all you have to do is pay for my trip over there to come activate, and I will bring it with me.
Actually, that guy that's coming over, he says he's gonna bring his radio because he's gonna do multiple islands. And I was thinking, what could I trick him to bring me from the States that I cannot ship here?
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm gonna trick him with? He probably can't travel with it. A Bieno battery. I can't get those here.
You can get up to a 12 amp hour on a plane.
Well,
but I'm talking about
it's going to Europe too. So I don't know what the regulations are.
Yeah,
depends on that sometimes.
Yeah,
So
but
Europe
I'll manage.
different.
I'll find a way. Next week I have 5 days off, and I'm gonna take my car into an electrician because I want this done properly. I mean, I could do it, but I hate messing with car electrics. It's one of those things I hate car electrics. It's too cramped for my size, so I can't get into those nooks and crannies. And plus, my van is a minivan, so everything is like there's no room in it, and they're gonna have to drill the firewall because I want to run two big old fat cables from my battery straight into the back, so I can set up a permanent mount for my 891 and my Atus 120. So I can, whenever I want to do an activation, all I have to do is turn the key and off you go. So, but I need to run those cables, and I've been procrastinating. I gotta be honest, I've been procrastinating on this. But I have a week off from work, so I'm gonna take it to a electrician and have them do it. My father always said, God bless his soul, pakpanam shitya, which means I paid to not be bothered. So I'm going to pay somebody to do it to not be bothered with it. So that's my deal. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll be out there doing some stealthy kind of activations.
When you say stealthy, you mean like driving down the road doing FT8 on streets that are not photo streets and
on a parkway
and using APRS on the wrong streets where everybody can see. Is that
you're killing me. You're killing me. No, but probably like out of the blue. Taking off and doing it.
Did he drive off of the parkway and do FT8?
I saw him one time. He was at a gas station and he was doing FT8. He was spotted doing FT8, but he was at the gas station.
Rofo probably. Rofo eating the chicken sandwich.
Rofo on the air.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. There's a good program. Rhoda. Rofo's on the air.
Subway's on the air.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I got to do. I got to beat him at my home park in honor of my mentor that just passed away Saturday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that was one of his goals is to get back out to the park, and we were just talking about it Thursday night. He was doing so much better, and he wanted to get back out on the park because Dell's got him in QSOs, and he wanted to get out there and beat him. So I said I've got to get out there and do that for him every chance I get now.
Well, I need that, Aiden.
I need to look.
I will.
I need to look through my cards and see if I have one from him.
Probably.
You
Well, I don't
probably
think he
do.
does I don't think he QSLs.
I don't know if he does either.
But
I know you've worked him a couple times. He and I have talked about he's worked him before.
I've worked him plenty.
Yeah. What was his call?
W3 Rough and Ready, RAR.
Yeah, that's what he would say, rough and ready.
Yep. He's like, that gets attention.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the one that on my first activation, he was out there in the park with me and walked me through the whole thing, and just a great guy, great Elmer and a friend, and I'm really gonna miss him.
So in good news, I actually have broke the top page of all-time QSOs in Parks on the Air now.
Nice,
awesome.
Nice.
And what is that number?
What is that number? I don't know, around 40,000-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't even checked my standings, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 3rd or 4th already. Because I've been slacking.
If you
I'm 3rd. I'm still 3rd. Oh, with somebody 5 behind me from N2BTD.
Yeah, but you're talking 22. I'm talking all time now.
All time?
Yeah, I've made the and if you want to go to single sideband where I'm really at and look at all time, I think I'm 3rd or 4th all time.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have a card.
Yeah, I'm dead in the water, guys. The work has been killing me.
Yeah, same here, man.
Patrick, you gotta go take care of the squirrel.
Yeah. Damn squirrels.
What did I miss?
You need a wire antenna hooked to that feeder, and every time the squirrel gets on there, just transmit.
There you go. That's it.
Just pump 1.5 kilowatts through it and I'll have dinner.
I mean, there's nothing like some squirrel meat and gravy, man.
Yeah.
That's good breakfast.
Yeah. No, I've been slacking with a lot of things, but I'm kind of getting back on track. It's just school and work have been killing me.
Yeah. I've mostly been trying to do is get at least 2-3 contacts a day, so I can get my 1 a day going, because it's the last thing I got going for me right now is that 1 a day. See if I can break that, but I got some vacation time coming in. The wife has decided we're going to London. Is it? And so
that's so amateur, Mike. 1 a day.
Shut up. How many people have gotten the 1 a day award?
I don't know.
Well,
2
Hunter and Activator. I think this is the year poised for a lot of people getting it.
Well,
because it's the first year they've actually made an award.
This is the first year I can do it, because I started in March of last year, so that I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I feel bad for Radio in the Wild. Said you can't do much on SSB at the QTH new transformer and streetlight that got put up is an RFI killer. So I
can't you call ARRL or somebody and have them check
the power company. So
you should be able to complain to the power company about that.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they'll fix it, that's what you call the ARRL.
Well, I mean, it's technically the law that they cannot be pushing power that has a frequency to it.
Signal. Yep.
It can't do it. I mean, my dad made him come out here and do the ones by our house.
I know, but I think Mike is having like a huge issue with it right now. Cade MRD.
Cade MRD. He's got huge noise floor at his house. But guess who he hunted on 40 meters from home?
Oh, nice.
This guy. Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm at home and got you.
We spoke to a power company every Monday morning. Nothing come of it. I mean,
send them a letter.
Well, not even
emails,
that.
letter, call them every day.
Tell them you're gonna talk to like the state utility commission or something. If they don't respond to you.
You just keep going over somebody's head over and over.
Just say like, hey, I'm gonna start contacting like utility commissions,
the regulators in the government.
Yep. Tell them like I'm gonna talk to the environmental office and the regulator office, and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry." You know, an AEP work ticket for a year plus now. Oof.
Wow.
Keep complaining every day. Complain every day. They'll get
Yeah.
tired of hearing you.
You just gotta complain to the person over them that can affect their paycheck, and
Yeah.
then eventually you'll get to someone who cares about their paycheck enough to say, "Oh."
Yeah.
Well, it's not
Definitely.
even just interfering with amateur radio. It's not supposed to be emitting signals like that at all. So it could be interfering with other devices as well, like you know, just trivial stuff that you wouldn't even really think about, like garages. Someone's garage at their home, or
Yeah. Go around your neighborhood and ask if anybody's felt any kind of disturbance. I mean, maybe some. I've heard of people like on medical devices that have been having that had issues, and that will speed up the process as well. Just go around your neighborhood if you have good neighbors, because some of them might not like ham radio
Wait.
operators.
Medical device. So, people go to the doctor and get these companion license for companion animals. Why can't you get a radio companion certificate, and then, that's a legal medical device then, and an electric company is.
It helps me with my PTSD. I have to carry it around everywhere.
Don't hurt her feelings, Mike. Okay, she's very sensitive.
But whatever you have to do to get those people to hear you. I mean, if you
yeah,
have to go around the neighborhood and get signatures, or maybe somebody else is affected and they don't even know why. Oh, my Wi-Fi has gone out, or I don't know, whatever, just to get more people on pressing your case. I mean,
The
shit.
the best.
Alternatively, there is a money route to it where you can buy a pass filter or a choke. That'll probably help a
It
little bit.
might not. It might
It
not. It
might
might
not
be
at
just.
all, yeah, but there's
And
a
I'm sure.
chance.
I'm sure he's probably tried to, do an ugly choke or something like that. And it's just sometimes it just won't help.
Yeah,
You might want to try reaching out to his local phone company too. I know here in Maryland, and we have a local a noise mitigation crew that just goes around and finds all kinds of stuff like that, because that interferes with our lines as well. And they'll reach out to the power company and say, "Hey, you guys are like not kosher here, and you got to get it fixed." And if one utility is telling another utility, "Hey, you got to get this fixed," that might help out too.
Yeah, but how many people still own landlines that are not actually VoIP? You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, 90% of
Well,
landlines are VoIP.
most of our lines are all fiber now too. It
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
landline,
yeah. It's VoIP. It's voice over
putting
IP.
me out of work.
That sucks. Uh,
Well, I've got fiber training coming up at the end of the month, so I'll be good.
nice, nice,
Really, the
nice.
best way to get the electric company to listen to you is to do park on the air activations on 7200 daily.
just don't do it under a power line, apparently.
Because
Because
most of the time now with those new LED lights, they'll pump out something horrible.
because 7200 is where Voice of America is. I heard it myself.
Now the worst thing is sometimes your neighbor here, especially in Europe. I don't know why. If in the States it's the same thing. Some people get those power over Ethernet lines, like the plug into your computer to an outlet, and then it'll
Yeah,
send the internet um internet over the house's
Power
110
lines,
100.
power over
Yeah,
internet. Yeah.
yeah, power. Those things are noisy because it turns your house into a big old antenna.
Yep.
So here it's been crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
guess
know a
that's
couple of ham radio guys here. I should go up to their neighbors and say, here, this'll help with your internet. Just plug it in anywhere in your house.
yeah, that might be causing some of my issue. I think I have one plugged in somewhere.
I had an issue a couple of months ago. All of a sudden, I had like on my waterfall, I just had a bunch of noise and a S9, big old time, and I was like, I didn't do anything different. What the heck's going on? So I started at the circuit breakers, turning everything off because I have independent power to the shack, and I started turning on everything, and all of a sudden it came up, and I'm like, okay, what power? What is this powering? So I start pulling wall warts out of the wall and stuff like that, and sure enough, a wall wart for a PC that I innocuously plugged in was giving me S9 all over the place.
Wow, that was a good find.
Yeah, it was wonderful because I was like, did the bands die or did they go up? What the heck? And it was a wall wart. It was just it was a simple, I don't think 9-volt wall wart for programming Motorola radios. And I was like, jeez Louise. So, and every time this happens, people say, oh, all of a sudden I have noise at home. Get a battery, plug your radio into a battery, turn everything off, and then start turning everything slowly in your house. Plug every extension and try and find if that's what it is. And a lot of people have had success finding the weirdest stuff because, you buy all these devices from, routers and switches and Raspberry Pi power supplies and phone chargers and all this crap, and all of a sudden you have noise and you don't know where it's coming from. Start unplugging everything and plug in slowly until you find the culprit. But yeah, battery is the best thing because you can leave your radio on and it's independently powered, so you can trace that noise source.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to have to do that. 'Cause I do have some noise in my QTH. I don't really do much from QTH. So, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of me because I really want to get a DX10 for here at the house. But then I got to thinking here lately, I'm like, how much do I really radio from the house? 90% of my radio is done in the field. So
it's not how much you do, it's the quality of what you do. I mean, it's like just because you're not doing the Le Mans doesn't mean you can't own a nice Ferrari.
Well, I'm not saying not buy the DX10. I'm saying maybe buy.
Will I give it any use?
Maybe buy the DX10 and start taking it to the field.
Somebody was talking about it. I think it was at the Facebook page for POTA. Has anybody ever taken a DX10? I think it was Joe. I think it was Joe. A DX10 out on POTA exhibitions. I mean, if I could, I'd take my 101 MP. I'd just be crazy to do it.
Well, I'm planning on getting a Go box when I go to Dayton.
The Gator boxes?
Yeah.
The nice boxes?
And the one I'm getting for the 991A will actually fit the DX10. So I could just put the DX10 in it and not worry about the DX10. And, then if I want to use it at the house, I can, but I could have the 991A hooked up here all the time. And just if I need the DX10, hook it up.
Yeah. It makes a world of difference.
Not that I need
on your reception.
Not that I need more in the field, but man, I could really filter out some of the cesspool that I deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm pretty proud to be hated by a lot of people.
Hey, you know what they say? Bad publicity. Any publicity is good, even bad publicity. I mean,
well,
if they're hating, they're talking about you.
Bad publicity from the people that I don't care about doing it is giving me good publicity with the people that I do care about. So but I kid you not, Mike. The night that I activated on 70G200, I happened to look because I was tagged in something on Twitter, and I had plenty of time in between the Hellfire and Damnation and the Voice of America and Rick Ashley and everything else coming at me. And I looked, and Vance had went on there and said, James, KE8PZN is taking on 7200. And, like, literally, I mean, I knew I could outlast. If you've had a colonoscopy, you're going to bed before I am. I will outlast you. But
okay, I'm not getting it. What's this whole debacle? What's aren't you allowed to work 7,200?
oh yeah, but
Go
70,
ahead.
7,200's where all the lids hang out.
7,200 is the cesspool of ham radio. Like they think it is owned by people who want to talk about their wife's macaroni and cheese and their colonoscopy. Like, and if you're doing anything else, you're a horrible, horrible person. And look, I mean, and I know to stay away from it, but everywhere was so crowded, and it was the one spot that nobody was even on. And I called, is this frequency in use 10 times, way more than I normally would have, and nothing. I get 10 contacts, and then here comes the world.
We have the same frequency in Portugal. It's 14,175. All the old timers in Portugal, mainland and not, will be on 14,175. Now, I've activated on 14,175 in the past, and because I'm Portuguese, they've come on strong and like, this is not your frequency. You need to move. And I'm like, excuse me. When I started, nobody was using it, and guess what? I don't care. Ooh, I made some enemies back then.
We're talking 30 over interference, Mike. That's what I was getting. And believe it or not, the hunter said they could still hear me. But so I would be like, guys, as soon as they stop, give me the rest. I was like, Kilo Bravo station, as soon as they stop, go. I made 149 contacts in plus 30 interference.
Any of them were any of them French?
No.
No.
Wait a minute. People from Canada are actually French. So,
no, this was actually
they're
French Canadian. Quebec. Quebecois.
Victor Echo 2 calls are actually French, and I'll have to look. Maybe I might have to.
They're Canadian French. I won't blame them for anything.
Oh no, they're awesome people.
Yeah. Quebecois. But no, this guy was full-blooded, fledged French.
But yeah. But before
I still don't understand.
Before I even made it home from the park, I was getting messages. Dude, there's a Reddit article about you.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's a Reddit post, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And then I get home and I'm like, have all these email messages, and I mean, it was absolutely just hilarious.
God dang it!
Yeah, I need to get some QRO so I can do that.
I'll tell you who's worse to deal with: the AM people.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause they got, I swear they got over 1,500 watts they're pushing. Like, man, they come through hard on you, and it's crazy because I was calling as this frequency in use, and one guy called me. He said, "Yeah, you're too close to the AM frequency. Drop down 10." I said, "I ain't dropping down 10 for the president." I said, 3 is what you'll get. I mean, 3 is the courtesy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not splattering all over the net like you guys.
No, I mean, I have issues with nets and lids and all this.
No,
I mean, I got issues. I mean, as soon as I'm hunting and all of a sudden I hear that net's gonna start in 5 minutes or 30 minutes, you're gonna have to move, and I'm like, I'm gonna, and I'm hearing these activators. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll move, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't move for anybody.
This is.
I was here first. Move yourself.
This is my rule. Because I have moved plenty of times. When people come on and
politely ask,
throw their call sign out and say, "Hey, we normally do this. Do you mind?" Not a problem. I will move every time. And when I set on a frequency for an hour and do that and keep going, I even say that then. I'm like, all right, the frequency's yours. If you guys would have just asked nicely, I would have moved an hour ago. And I will move every time if you ask me nicely. But if you
I've seen horrible things. I've seen horrible things, and I'm sure you guys have been too. Dude, I've seen it too. It's like, oh my God, seriously? Do you own this frequency? Oh, let me see the FCC.
I'm on YouTube, so I won't be really graphic, but they were threatening putting things in orifices that you don't want to hear about. I mean,
Man, that's when if you get their call, you know,
don't tempt me with a good.
You're not going to get a call.
That's about the only thing I would say after about 30 minutes of them jamming. I'd be like, "Hey, jammers, you guys know you're supposed to identify for 10 minutes, right?" And then I'd go, "QRZ."
But you know who it is. It's the people from that net. So blanket email the FCC with all their calls.
I don't care about the nets. They can have their nets. I don't care.
I got nothing wrong with nets.
Just don't jam me. Just don't jam me.
Have these people heard about Zoom calls and telephone lines and everybody's got to just they're I'm sorry, I will never understand it. I mean, I've been in a couple of nets, DMR nets mostly, and I went to maybe two nets, and I was like, I have to sit here for an hour and hear everybody give their call sign, and then at the end, anybody got questions for the net? Hell no! I thought this was gonna be interesting. Are you shitting me? Seriously? This is a net? Hell no! It's worse than a contest. No! Jesus! Everybody for an hour giving their call sign. It's and waiting for their turn. I'm like, okay, I guess it's my turn. And I give my call sign, and I have no questions for the net. I'm like, seriously? No, it makes no sense. Makes no sense.
All right. Well, since we're talking about what grinds our gears here, Mike, you know what really grinds mine? When somebody was set through one of my pile-ups, and I know you've sat because you're their call sign. I don't know, so I know you've sat through at least 7 or 8 people that I do know because I can pick their voices out. And you go through all of that, and here I'm. Somebody even told me you should change your call sign to Kilo Echo 8 QRZ. He's like, because that's all I hear from you. 591810 QRZ. Because I go through pileups of 200 people. I got to get people. People don't want to sit there and wait all night long.
Yeah.
Yes, there is activators that will take 5 calls and make them last 20 minutes, and that's their business.
That grinds my gears.
I want to make the people happy and get them out of there. But when you sit there and you listen through 7, 8, 10 people, and then you get there and you say, can you tell me your call sign? Not that I don't say it like every 2 or 3 minutes anyway, but can you tell me your full call sign? What park are you in?
No, the best one is, what antenna are you using? What radio are you using?
Well, now, I get the antenna I'm using because I get people that gives me 30 and 40 over all the time. So people want to know that. But I don't need to know what antenna you're using to hunt me. I don't. I might. Now I did ask one guy because I knew for a fact that he was using an Eagle One because of the way it sounded coming through my Eagle One. I said, what antenna are you using? He said, the Eagle One. I said, I knew it. I did because he used to use an infed half wave and he had a good signal. But man, the way he came back through Eagle One to Eagle One sounds amazing. I'm telling you.
No, but some people irk me the wrong way when they're, somebody's working a pile up. Like I'm sure you've worked a pile up, and then they come back with these idiotic questions out of the blue, like, what ointment do you use for your hemorrhoids? And I'm like, are you shitting me? Is this the right time to ask you this? Because you've been hearing him call for a half an hour because you're calling too and you can't get through the pileup. And as soon as he comes back, are you using preparation H for your hemorrhoids? Seriously, is that the question? Are you really 5'9"? Move on. Jesus.
Maybe I should start doing 80 meters activations, POTA activations, but for each contact, you got to give me what your ailment is for that day.
Yeah.
Don't give me a signal report. Say, Kilo Fox 9 Zulu. My head hurts really bad today. All right, you're 5'9" QRZ.
Well, anyways, guys, it's been an hour. I think Summit is on now in like a couple of minutes or right now. So I guess we'll go around and find out what everyone's doing this week. If anything exciting.
Well, who you want to start with?
Start with you.
Start with me.
Start with you, H-Rag.
All right. Starting with me. Let's see. This week, I will have a video coming out tomorrow. It will be my activation of Blue Springs State Park in Florida.
7200.
No, no. I wish I had. I have heard some of people's video from it, but I wish I had video from it. That's the one night that I wish I was videoing for sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'll be streaming on Wednesday, and I will be in the park every single day. There's no need to ask me if I will be there because I will be there. Somebody asked me today because I'd already had 2 activations in for today, and they said, "You activating after you leave here?" I said, oh, "Why would you even ask that? Why? You know I'm going to be there." But
They must not know you so well.
Matter of fact, when I get off here, guess where I'm going? I bet
Activate.
I bet you
1810.
there we go. And other than that, Wednesday I'll be spending time with my tanknician over here. Shout out to him. He does a great job. He is my official tanknician, and he does a great job. Other than that, catch me on there.
Guess it's my turn. Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I have no news. I have no questions for the net.
Okay.
No, no. I mean, I go ahead, James.
Mike has no traffic.
No traffic. Yeah,
There
that's
you
it.
go.
That's it. No traffic. No,
No
I mean,
traffic, no comments.
I need to get that. I need to next week. I need to get that electrician working on that so I can get out there and do some activations, and definitely because I know a lot of people have been pushing me to go back to activate, and I feel the need to activate. I honestly do, and the weather's getting nicer here on the island, so I definitely need to push for that next week. But yeah, let's see. Hopefully, because I have a few days off, I'll get around to doing it.
Nice. What about you, Hayden? Anything fun coming up?
Well, of course,
that,
Wednesday I'll be in the background on the live stream. It's really a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that, and gives James a hand. This weekend we will be spending going out to West Virginia and spend time with family for Mother's Day. So I'll be out Saturday at the local park out there working on a kilo.
Nice.
And Mike, when are you Saturday? When do you hunt usually? Because I've been
usually
dying to get you in my log.
I hunt every day.
Okay.
Just you know, for the one a day. But yeah, I definitely need to get back to the shack and do some SSB because mostly I've been doing some digital FT8 and FT4. But yes, definitely I'll look for you. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Now, Hayden, you have to use 20 meters because his
Yeah.
his big station doesn't do 40 meters.
It doesn't work during the day. It's not my fault.
I think he's too far away for 40.
Yeah, the skip is completely wrong for daytime 40 meters. Ah, shut up. Ah, yeah.
Maybe when we both get Eagle Ones, Mike.
Eagle one to Eagle one on 1/10 of a watt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's awesome. And I don't know how many of y'all saw it. I did my podcast this morning because of the time difference with Hayden, VK7HH. He just got into POTA, so we talked about that a little bit. Pretty interesting where he does POTA because he's on an island off of Australia. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I have a couple of people lined up as potential guests this week for the podcast. And I'm just going to keep hamming harder. That's about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I don't have the outro video, so I'll just play the intro video one more time because I think everyone wants to see the intro one more time.
Welcome
Me
back.
being a badass.
Welcome to episode 4 at the wrong 30-minute time. Let's play the intro, guys. 73.
7-3.